Okay, here we go. So again, fitness concepts with an S and then plus. I have a cane today. I use the word cane because many people eschew that. Okay, it could be a walking pole. We'll say walking pole. Okay, when I'm walking, you notice I'm hesitating. Okay, so this is, we've been warming up a little bit. But what I'm trying to get you to do today in our Mobility Wednesday, and I'm going to say right on there, screen yourself for functional movement. What's functional movement? Movements that you would use typically through the day. See how I switched? See how I switched? And here's the deal. I use the cane to help me not lean too far forward, too far to the side, one side or the other. My tendency, of course, is to lean like this, see, because that takes the pressure off this weaker side, which is, this is my hip replace side, but this is my knee replace side. You can't win for losing. It kind of evens things out. So here's the deal, y'all. You deal with reality, right? And I'm not sure if I have Doris on. I love it when Doris comes on. She says she's riding her bike, but you know, Doris is out kicking up her heels these days. And so she might not be here at 9:30 when we start. But she's into her 90s. And she understands the value of movement, motion, but there also is dysfunction that we don't have to play into. We do not. So everybody's having their birthdays, if you're lucky. Keep that thought in your head, okay? Lots of us have loved ones who would love to have their birthday, okay? So don't look at that as a bad thing, okay? It's a very good thing. You see what I've done now? I've spent quite a bit of time switching my pole, doing some very aware walking patterns. That means heel to toe and then ball of the foot to the heel. If you're having dysfunction or pain, or you're leaning into a walk like this, if you're leaning side to side, or if you're leaning too far forward, which is generally the case, when we put a pole on our hand, I tell you, I like for you to use it if you need it, but what happens is you lean in like this, okay? This is not the way you want to use a cane, a pole, a walking stick, call it whatever you want, all right? You'll call it whatever you want, depending on how much you want to avoid reality. Okay, so see what I'm doing? I'm slowing down again. I'm being very aware of dropping my shoulders, of pulling my rib cage up as I take these steps, heel to toe, and then toe to heel and toe to heel. And I'm pushing gently. I'm pushing gently to keep me upright, okay? That's a very important difference in what generally happens when somebody's handed either a walking pole, a cane, whatever. This is just a mop handle, okay? That's all this is. But it will really help you to see where your dysfunction is starting as you're from the bottom up, okay? From the bottom up. Now, I'm going to take my pole and I'm going to do a round, okay? So a lot of shoulder stuff today. So we started addressing at the foot. Now we're going to go up, okay? So I'm going to go around with this. And here's the deal. In through the nose, breathing. As I reach here, I sit back into my heels. But here's the key, right here in this move right here, I say rib cage up. And if I don't say rib cage up, I'll guarantee you I'm just going to keep doing this. I see it all the time. So what I'm saying is make this really count. Think about how you're moving. Think about how your feet is hitting the floor on this Mobility Wednesday, okay? So I want to press into the heels as I say rib cage up, and I reach with my shoulders and I come around, and then I bring the shoulders to the ears, okay? Right now, all four corners on your feet, all four corners on your feet, a bit, just a tiny bit wider than shoulders. Bring the shoulders up, reach, sit back into the heels, sit back into the heels, say rib cage up, and bring it around. Now, when you're coming up here, the shoulders come to the ears, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now, keep your shoulders up. Okay, now drop your shoulders. Drop them, drop them, drop them. Okay, reach and say rib cage up, stay back, and then come up, and here we go. Shoulders to the ears, shoulders to the ears, shoulders to the ears. You're on all four corners of your feet, in through the nose. Here we go. Okay, drop your shoulders right there. Drop them. Reach with your shoulders, not your back, and then come back around. We got two more of these. Up with the shoulders. Here we go. Okay, now drop the shoulders. Reach out, sit back into the heels, and bring it around and come up with the shoulders. Way up here, into the nose, out through the mouth. Now drop the shoulders. Reach with the shoulders and come back in and around, in and around, in and around. Okay, last one, last one, last one. Here we go. Shoulders to the ears, all the way up, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now as you're reaching, you're dropping your shoulders, dropping, dropping, and bring them back around and back around and back around. Good job. Now take your pole and just act like you're digging in. See that? See that? Then it's going to switch as you take a step. See that? Here's the deal. Many of you did that move just fine. However, you did the classic thing that happens when you take a step and you're digging in. I see leaning, okay? So I want you to try to retrain yourself. And if I were with you, just you and me, and we were working out, and I had you take a step and take your bar, right now I would just push a little here, okay? And then I would look at your feet, because some of you have turned your toe out. Now we'll do that, but not right now. We're pretty much on a wide diving board, okay? I want my toes forward. And as I dig in right here, I want to push back, okay? Because I don't want this knee out over the toe. That's the deal. Okay, here we go. See, I'm turning gently. See that? Now I'm going to take a step. Here we go. Dig in. Yeah. Pull back. Get your heels down. Yeah, you're pushing back. Come to the middle and step back. Okay. So now let's put it together. So now you know to caution yourself not to lean out, right? So I'm going to take a step. I'm going to stay back. I'm going to drive the knee in the back down, okay? As far as I can. As far as my knee, my hip, my ankle, whatever will let me. And I want to see how far down I can go without pushing this knee out over my toe excessively, okay? Now I'm going to come up, take a breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now I'm going to take a step. See that? Then I'm going to dig in. But right here, I'm going to pull myself back, because what am I going to do with this back leg? I'm going to pull that knee down as I stay upright. Okay, so rib cage up, and I'm digging in right here. See that? Pushing that knee down, pushing that knee down, pushing that knee down. Yeah. Now come up and go to neutral. So you just pull that. So we're doing a whole bunch of stuff in this movement right here, this mobility movement for our Wednesday, for our Mobility Wednesday. We're doing a split leg stance. We're doing a test of ankle mobility right now as I'm doing this, okay? We're doing back extensors. We're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. You say rib cage up. Now drop your back knee as you dig in, okay? You're dropping that back knee. Yes, yes, keep going down just as far as you can if you aren't leaning out. The minute you start leaning out, you need to stop, okay? So keep going down as long as your shoulder is over your hip and right down pointing at that back knee. See that? That's the formula. Don't let this front knee go out over your toe right now. So this is kind of a functional test. Okay, come back up, come to neutral. Big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Ruby and Mac actually could care less. Okay. They just don't want to be left out, that's all. Outside. Okay, are you ready? So now this knee is going to be the dropping knee. So I'm going to do what? I'm going to step. And right there, you should have seen me correct. Because many of us, when we take that step, we do this. Okay, we don't want to do that, right? We're on a wide diving board. Why do I say that? Because I don't really want your foot over your back foot. I just want you to step like you would walking, okay? It could be, 3 to 5 inches apart, something like that, all right? So say rib cage up. Now I'm going to dig in. See, I'm digging in with my shoulders down. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, this back leg now is going to drop. And what is your cutoff? When do you know you should not go any further? When you start leaning your knee way out over your front foot. So you stay back. So you're doing really good extensions and flexions on your hip joints. And you're doing balance moves. So if you're getting off like I just now got off, what do? Do you lose control and get panicky? No, you just put your pole down. That's all you do. Okay? So I'm trying to get you to really test yourself functionally. And how could this be a functional test? It's testing your flexibility, your strength, your balance in a very typical movement pattern that of walking, okay? In the whole move, the whole sequence of gait, okay? Everybody gets interested in gait as they have injuries, as they start to have arthritis, as they have feet issues, if they have back issues, it starts affecting your gait. Well, what I'm doing is I'm taking you through some functional movement test to see where your sticking points are. And for everybody out there, I see you. I don't see your little beady eyes, but I know you're out there, okay? Everybody's different in their functional movements. But for the whole act of the gait, do you realize in normal walking, if you took a picture of you just doing this, just walking, 85% of that whole gait pattern is spent in a single leg balance. That's why these kind of these kind of moves that I'm introducing and showing, we've done these a lot. I'm just breaking them down and explaining to you how important they are to keep doing. You know, everybody, oh, you know, I need to work harder than that. Well, if you don't get this correct, working harder will only lead to dysfunction. And that is a proven fact. So spending this kind of time on some simple functional motions of gait is a big deal. It is a big deal. And hopefully those of us who have multiple joints replaced, or you have some real ankle dysfunction, I know Achilles tendonitis, plantar fasciitis, it all starts from the foot. That's why I started with the foot, and that's why I do every Wednesday that I possibly can. I will do it barefooted, okay? I have lots of feet issues because I had a granny. I had a little granny on my mother's side that had a lot of feet issues. A genetic component. Yeah, you got to look at where your sticking points are. Okay, so what am I doing? Okay, this is actually core. This is core work, as well as hip work, as well as strength as it leads to better mobility. Okay, so when I put pressure right now, down this leg, because I just momentarily bring my toe up, see that? I tighten in, I don't excessively lean. Now, do I want to? Absolutely. My tendency on this leg especially is to excessively lean because it's a cheater move, see? And I learned all my cheater moves from my class participants. Certain names come to mind. I won't say them right now. Okay, so here's the deal. When you're stepping wide, after we've done a succession of forward and back motion, we've done gentle transverse by doing this kind of motion, okay? This is a very functional, but a very good motion to check, to see how you're rolling. If you have a significant back, piriformis tightness, groin, hip issue, whoa, this motion will stab you like a knife, okay? So in the process of systematically going through this whole movement screen, hopefully you'll find some of those sticking points. But when you go into this right here, okay, number one, if you can do it without putting your pole down, God bless you, do it. However, there's many of us that might need that third point of contact, okay? So here I am, because I'm going to take away one of the points of contact, right? It could be this one. It depends on you. If you excessively lean like I do, I am desperate to keep extended, to use this whole hip, leg musculature properly. And in order to do that for me, I know I have to press gently on this third point of contact. If I'm going to lift my foot up and I'm not going to excessively lean, I have to push here. So it's going to come from here and it's going to come from here. So pull in, push down, the knee is soft, and I'm going to just lift the toe so that I stay upright and I finally load this leg properly. Then I'll go to this one, stay rib cage up. See, I don't have a problem there. I can do it without this third point. So now I'm doing a single leg wide scissor move, right? For adductors and abductors. So here I am on this side again. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to drop my shoulders in through the nose, breath out through the mouth. So I have to really push down here because my tendency is to want to lean, and I don't want to do that. And it's because I'm trying to use the stronger muscles. or I'm trying to use my back muscles to keep me upright here. So this one, it's no problem because all these are okay. Even though this is my knee replaced side. Oh my. Anyway, it is what it is, you know, accept it. Do what you can to manage it, which one of the things that you're doing is you zoomed in today. That's a management technique. Yay for you. And my promise is always going to be, if you stick with me during this whole session and you just try to grind out these moves with me, because I'm doing them with you, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel better all day, okay? Unless you go outside and slip on the ice or something like that. Okay, see how I'm over here again? See this? No problem. Rib cage up. Some of you have both hips replaced. I know. I'm thinking of you. Press down gently. Do not lean in on this one, okay? Why? Because I'm trying to get you stronger in your back extensors, back here. I'm trying to keep you strong in your core. I'm trying to take advantage of a good move for your shoulders. So I'm going to go into my challenge leg. My knee is soft. I'm pushing down so that I can bring the toe off the ground and stay rib caged up. Stay up, rib cage up, hold it, and then come back down. Now, when you do this, hopefully you have found which side gives you the tendency to want to cheat, right? Because you overlean. Some of you don't even know it, but you do that. Okay, big breath. So we've done our wide stance. We've done our heel-toe walking, not in a line, not the sobriety test, but we've just done this kind of a thing. And hopefully you've seen kind of what your movement patterns are, what you have a tendency to do. And I can tell you, this heel-toe walking, many of us, if we're not thinking, we don't have a nice straight bent. We do the wobble walk. We do this. We go way too wide because we're trying to keep our balance. And I'm just here to tell you, you can retrain yourself, but first you have to be aware of the issue. So if you're doing heel-toe walking, normal heel-toe walking, keep your head very straight. Okay? How do you know? Old school. Put a book on your head. Who knew? Yeah, put a book on your head. That's what we used to do. Okay? To teach better posture and stuff like that. It's that simple. So I can tell you that with my hip replaced, when your hip is replaced or you have dysfunction in your hip in any way, shape, or form, it will affect everything. So work against that dysfunction is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so now we're going to do a functional test with our shoulders, and it's called the scratch test. Okay, so I'm going to put my bar right here. And we've done this test before. We have done it before. It's simply hold your hands like this. Okay. So there's 3 very important movements to do if you are a shoulder person. And we're going to do it while we do a simple plantar flexion in the ankle, and then just neutral. I'm not even doing dorsiflexion. I'll show you that in just a minute. See this? In dance, it's called a heel ball exchange. Okay, see that? See? This is a very valuable move right here. Drop your shoulders and just bend your knee as you push your toe into the ground. Then go to the heel and bend your other knee and point your toe down the ground. Just do that a couple of times and put your hands right here at your hips, okay? Drop your shoulders, all right? In through the nose, out through the mouth. So As I do this, here's what I don't want you to do. See, when you go into this kind of a thing, many of you do this, okay? Don't do that. Keep yourself in the column. Don't push that hip way out, okay? You're exchanging the heel to the ball, the heel to the ball. Your tummy is tightening. Your shoulders are down. You're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. See? So once we're doing that, and I'm not pushing my hip out to the side, I want to, but see, I'm showing you, I don't want you to do this. That's the tendency. When you do a heel ball exchange, you keep your butt super tight, keep your tummy tight, your shoulders down, okay? Once you get this and you don't move these hips excessively out, now you're ready to bring those hands to a W. See this? I'm still doing my hip ball exchange because I'm getting that ankle mobility going. See that? One and then the other. Do not push your hip out. Elbows are here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now we're going to go to a T, but we're going to keep our thumbs back, pointing back. Our palm is up. Now, as you do the heel ball exchange, do not push that hip out. You're going to want to, but don't do it. Shoulders are down. How are you feeling? With your palms up and your thumbs pointing back. So if I was there, I would look to see what's your, where is your sticking point? Because I can tell you that for a lot of you doing this move, A, this is getting really hard. B, you're out here. See? We want it to be here. Okay? So if you do this and are really mindful of what I'm trying to get you to do right now, it's pushing you with your shoulders. Keep your elbows just gently soft, not really bent. Now, if you have a dysfunction in your shoulder, absolutely do this lower. Okay, that's number one. Just do it lower. You will work at getting it up to shoulder level. I hope that helps you. Okay, keep your tummy in tight. Keep your thumbs pointing back. Okay, bring it right back into the W. See that? I'm still doing that hip ball exchange. See that? This is a very important thing because I'm doing a constant hit the heel, ball the foot on one leg, heel on the other, and then I'm exchanging. This is all you do in walking. This, yes. And many of you wobble because you do this. You do this. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Okay, keep your tummy tight. All right. Bring your hands up to the T. Okay. And now, for those of you who can, you keep your elbows just gently soft, not really bent, and then just take it up to like a Y. Okay. So why am I doing this? So you can dance the YMCA. I'm just kidding, but it's not a bad idea. Put it on today for 5 minutes and do the YMCA dance. Take a breath. So right here. Yeah, keep your elbows soft. Keep your shoulders down. That's very important. Don't push that hip out. You got about 2 more. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Breath. Bring it back down to the W and back down. Shake out, shake out, shake out. Just stand with your knees soft, toes forward, and we're doing that transverse move. It's a transverse turning, gently moving. Is this a functional move? You better believe it. And we're going to test this range in just a second with our pole. Okay, we're going to do it sitting. But right now, we're going to finish the shoulder test. So now we've loosened them up. We've worked them a little bit, right? Take your foot and go across in front of you, open, okay? Some of you are arching your back excessively now. Some of you have locked your knees. Try not to do either of those, okay? Drop your shoulders in through the nose, out through the mouth, or out through your nose if you've got a Kleenex. Be ready for that. See how I'm turning my thumbs back? Okay, I'm going to cross over. So that means I have to soften up my joints. Okay, tighten in my tummy. I'm going to step across. I am not going to lock my knee. Do not lock your knee in the back. Okay, and then come back. Okay, we're not quite done yet. Take a big breath. Okay, now take the opposite leg and go behind your leg. And you're opened here in the front. Your rib cage is up. Chin is tucked. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Bring it back in. So what am I doing? I'm trying to make you aware of your movement patterns and where your sticking points are. Some of you have real issues with your balance and with mobility. Well, how do you improve those? You start using them as training modalities. That's how you start. Because once you've gone through these in the proper movement patterns, you will have taxed your extensors, your whole core system, which is just connecting your upper body movements with your lower body movements. And that's why it's so important to keep it nice and tight and functioning. And you have really taxed your ankle, your foot, your whole hip and leg area. So see, I'm not locking my legs here, not locking them. I'm going to come right back. I'm going to do that one more time. Drop your shoulders. Now, here's the deal. Here's what I want you to think about. See, my thumbs are out. See that? Okay, I'm going to go behind my leg here. And some of you need to do this holding a pole or putting your hands on a chair back because you don't do the movement. You know why? Because when you do it, you get off balance. I know. So I want you to feel really good about moving into this position. We did the front crosses. Now we're doing the behind the leg crosses. Our knees are soft. They're not locked. If I need to use this, I will. Okay? If I don't need to use this, I might just have it in my hand ready to use. See this? And so when I do that, wow, am I getting a stretch through the lower leg from the heel all the way up to the knee in the back part of my leg because that back knee is bending. Take a big breath, drop your shoulders. So here's what I wanted you to think about. What if we did all these movement patterns from the very simple, just walking, pushing off, toe heel, to this one, okay, to what we're doing now, which is crossover, and then I'm going to do the back one, crossover, okay. Pretend you're doing all of these functional movement patterns and you're hanging on to a set of weights. I don't even care if it's just as little as 5 pounds. You think about that. Yeah. Don't miss Friday. Woo! Something to look forward to. Okay, let's finish this one. We've done this one before in my class, but I want you to keep remembering some of these little movements that I'm doing is movements synonymous to everyday motion. But when you have things starting to act up, you have an arthritis flare up, you did too much of something, shoveling snow, whatever, cleaning out closets, whatever, and you didn't move correctly and you strained something or whatever, well, then these movements become a big deal, right? So take your hands like this. We already went through the W, the T, with our thumbs out and the Y. Now take your hand and just act like you're going to scratch your back. Okay, just act like you're going to scratch your back. Okay, and then just bring it back here. I'm not even going to reach the other one around yet because I really want this to be valuable for you. When I go to put my hand back here and I act like I'm scratching my back, many of you are ducking your head forward. And if you were in front of a window or a mirror or something like that, you would see that. And if I were with you, that's what I would be watching for. Because see, if you're doing this in order to do this, that makes the test not valid because you're not doing it in correct form. Got it? Okay, so I'm still standing here, full feet pressure, right? And I'm going to go scratch my test. I'm going to scratch my back for the test. Take a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Then I'm going to scratch my back, but I'm not going to dip forward. I'm going to see if I can get that elbow up there in order to scratch my back. And then the culmination of the test is, of course, whether you can touch your fingers. So this is neutral. This is very, if you can slide your hand one over the other one, then that's very mobile in your shoulders. But why is this so valuable? Because a lot of us don't realize that we've really lost mobility with our shoulder dysfunction because we didn't address it. We quit doing those physical therapy moves that we went through physical therapy for. We quit doing some of the moves if we didn't come to class. So let's finish the test. Are you ready? So here I go here. Do not dip forward. I'm going to let you see where I'm at. So note which arm is up, which arm is coming under. Okay? And see where you're at. Some of you are going to be here. Some of you can come here. Some of you can come way up there. Okay? Take a breath. Now I'm going to take this hand and it's going to go up. So note which hand you're having trouble getting that gap closed. So I'm going to come up over hit my light. Come up over my scratch test. Now I'm going to bring this one here. And see, this one is much harder. I'm not nearly as flexible here. Okay? And in fact, this shoulder is the one that gives me trouble. Okay? It's the one I landed on when I got run over back in 2001. And I landed on this shoulder, so I have to keep working at that. Okay, take a big breath. Yes. And we're going to move right on into some dorsiflexion testing and mobility work. And we do that very, very well with doing the runner stretch. And you can do it from your chairs. You can do it at a wall. If you have a wall with a rail on it, that's a great thing to do. Okay, so here I am. So I'm going to step back, and all I'm going to do is take and put my knee toward the chair. See that? We've done this many times. And I'm going to step back. I'm going to put my knee toward the chair, if I could keep on balance. Okay, so I'm right there. I'm going to stay upright. All right, and I'm just going to push in. But here's the deal. I want to keep my heel on the floor. I'm going to keep my heel on the floor. So I'm going to push toward the chair. I'm going to keep my toes forward. Try not to arch in your back. Try to stay rib cage up. And I'm pushing my knee toward the chair like you're trying to push a wall up. Okay? My toes are forward. Knees are bent on the front, straight on the back. See that? And I'm keeping my heel down. Then I'm going to come away from that. I'm going to push down into the chair. I'm going to get ready to switch, but in the process of switching, I'm going to push my hips and really stretch through the backs of my legs. Keep my knees bent to start with. I'm reaching way out there, really reaching with my shoulders. Take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. Then I'm going to come back down. I'm going to do one chair plank. So I'm just giving a workload and a movement to my core. So now I'm going to let the hips drop. Take a big deep breath. Keep your shoulders down. Breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. One more. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Pull that butt up. Get ready to exchange. So I'm going to bring the leg in. I'm going to act like I'm holding onto the wall or pushing onto the wall. I want to push my knee forward. Push my knee forward as I keep my back leg straight. And I'm keeping my heels on the ground. Okay? So this is one test to see how your ankles, how your dorsiflexion range of motion is working. If you're extremely tight and you can't even go toward, you can't keep your heels down, that's telling you've got to work on that ankle mobility. And I'm going to show you how to do that as soon as we get off of this one, okay? I'm going to come back up. Before I come back up, I'm going to put my hands here. This is our second challenge now at the chair. Step back. I'm on my toes. You can put your heels down, go to the toes, heels down, go to the toes, heels down, go to the toes, heels down. Let your hips drop. Really hang around off of that drop. Your shoulders are down. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Big breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Swing. Bring that hip up. Step in, step in, step in. Put your hands here and up. Yay. Okay. So we're going to sit. And if you have anything, I don't care if it's a pillow, I don't care if it's a little disc, just anything that will keep your knees squeezing. Okay, it could be a ball, it could be this thing right here. See, anything that will keep your knees squeezing. You could stand up and use the pad between your knees, that would be fine. Okay, so let's do our trunk flexions and extensions, okay? And transverse testing. So here's my bar. I'm squeezing my little pillow, not too hard, a little bit, okay? And I'm just going to turn. I'm going to turn my upper body. So I'm just going to turn, but I'm going to keep my knees pointing forward. See how I'm turning? Does that feel tight on either side? See that? Now come back to center. Okay, see I'm squeezing here. I'm keeping my knees forward. Okay, drop your shoulders, drop your chin, tummy in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now turn, and you're looking for at least 45-degree ability to turn without turning your knees, okay? So I hope this is giving you really good feedback on your range of motions, all right? And where your sticking points are. Everybody's different because everybody has a different experience and a different genetical system. But these kind of movement patterns, if you're able to do these with ease, okay, as you're doing this one, very important that you're lining yourself up. In other words, don't be doing this one here like this, okay? Ear is over the shoulder, shoulder is over the hip. I'm turning. So I can just tell you that when I turn this way for me is much tighter. My guess is it has something to do with my hip issues. My hip issues. Go lay down, Max. Go lay down. Turn. Go lay down. Go lay down. Breath, breath, breath. So here's the deal. When people do this motion, and the reason why I had you squeeze this right here and keep your knees forward, okay, is because we usually turn with our whole body because we have sticking points that we're not even aware of, okay? So it could be a neck that's stiff. See, I'm turning, turning, turning everything in concert, and then I'm coming right back here. Because when you usually do this move, usually we do this, and we don't really know what our ability is. So you need to be able to turn about a 45-degree angle, okay? Now, I'm going to just hold this here, and I'm going to bring my foot right out here, okay? I know lots of people that are on with us today that have knee issues. And you're thinking, oh, geez, I just hate doing those knee lifts and all that kind of stuff. Number one, do squats every single day. Number two, when you find yourself sitting in a chair, before you get up, put your leg out. I'll do this one first, okay? I have my little pole. I'm going to push back and I'm going to tighten, okay? I'm going to do dorsiflexion. This is dorsiflexion. See, I can rest my heel down. And some of you have such issues with your back, your hip, whatever. It's very difficult for you to open here, tighten in, and lift this leg and keep a dorsiflexion. So if that's hard for you to do, work into that. Put your heel down, okay? Open a little, tighten in a little, push down with your shoulders, okay? Point, this is plantar flexion, and then dorsiflexion, okay? This move right here, plantar, and then dorsi, all the way, will tell you a lot about some of the ways that your sticking points happen with walking, because your inability to do a full plantar flexion and a dorsiflexion. And then, of course, if you add the circular, that's a very good thing to do, okay? Now, if you're doing this and you're leaned back, your back is extension, you're doing dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, around, 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 in through the nose, out through the mouth. If you're doing this whole thing, you're starting to sweat a little bit. This is hard. Okay, bend your knee. Now just push down and go to dorsiflexion. Push down, dorsiflexion. Push down, dorsiflexion. Contract. Push down, dorsiflexion. Yes. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Right here. Right here. Dorsiflex. Okay. Push your butt back. Push your butt back. Come way down here. Drop your head. Round your shoulders. Not your lower back, your shoulders. Big breath. Then you come back up, but you don't come up all at once. You put your hands up on your knee, your quad, and you push a little. Don't make your back pull you up from that position, okay? Okay, to the other leg. So here I'm sitting, and this move right here for me, with a knee replaced here, has a tendency to get tight. Anytime I'm sitting, I'll do a split stance, and I'll keep wiggling my foot back, and I'll keep trying to put my heel down. and it makes this, it's really tight, but that is what I'm trying to do to keep as much mobility through my knee as I can, okay? And I'm trying really hard to get that heel down. But anytime I find myself sitting, especially if it's sitting, I don't know, in some kind of meeting, board meetings usually put me to sleep. So I do this exercise, and I try to challenge myself to keep my knee flexibility by doing this, okay? Now, that said, you can bring it up, and now we're going to work this other side, okay? You can use this pole or not. So what's the sitting stance? What are we supposed to be doing? What's our lineup? I should say that. We're not standing. You open, okay? You drop your shoulders. And you breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Push here with your shoulder down, okay? And you're going to go heel down, and you're going to go dorsiflex and come back. See that? Dorsiflex and come back. And your leg is pretty straight. Dorsiflex and come back. Big breath. Dorsiflex and come back. Okay? Dorsiflex up here, and then plantar. You can have your heel down, or you can be doing it elevated out, just hanging out there, okay? Big breath, just like that, just like that, just like that. Should be this leg right here. You don't want it locked. So you want to be doing these dorsiflexions and plantar flexions with your shoulders down, tight tummy, leaning back, very extended back. See? Then around and around and around and around. And then I'm going to just bend at the knee and come up. So it's just going to be like a push in a dorsiflexion with my heel. Push, breath, push, breath, push, breath, push, breath, push, breath. Stay with me. 2 more. 1 more. And come back. Lean in, lean in, lean in, lean in, lean in, all the way down. Then you come up and you come up. Over here. The dog sees something. And then come up. Take a big breath. Okay, we got 1 more to do. 1 more to do. I was just checking my boards there. So the dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, I'm telling you, it's a big deal. And many times I've worked with people who have had ankle problems, and I will put a band around their toe and hold on to it while they're doing against the dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, okay? So now I'm going to do this with the pole. Some of you may elect to do this one from the back of your chair. Either one is fine. If you need a point of contact, stability, then put it on the chair, bring your leg back, say rib cage up, and lift. Now, right now, when you do the lift, you squeeze right here, and then you pull in. So here's the test. Many times when I've done this move with people, they do fine here, but then they start to pull in and they go like this, okay? So if you happen to be one of those little slugs, try not to do that, all right? That doesn't help you any with what's happening with your hamstring. Now, if you've got some real hamstring issues, my suggestion is don't use the pole, use a chair, it's more stable. Step back a tiny bit, not a lot. Soften your knee, lift, squeeze your gluteal, and then just pull that heel up. So touch the floor, lift with the whole leg. Do not rotate your hip out. That is crucial. And then heel to hip, then down. I'm only going to do like 2 or 3. So it's a lift, rib cage up, In through the nose, out through the mouth. Squeeze your butt. Now pull with your heel coming in. Okay? Go like this. Because that's going to be a big contraction from your lower, mid to lower back to your gluteal, hamstring, and down. Okay? This particular exercise has Kathy's name written all over it. Okay, you ready? And I know she's counting. It's holding today, Kathy. It's not so much counting. Okay, here we go. Shift, soft at the knee, push back on your butt, drop your shoulders, go straight back, start to squeeze your gluteal, tighten your tummy, lift. Do not rotate that hip out. Then you pull the heel in. Then you come down, okay? In through the nose, out through the mouth, lift, pull, and back down. Soften your knee. Some of you have locked your knee that's supporting you. Push down on the chair, down on your shoulders. Lift, squeeze, pull, and come back down. So, you should have noticed if you had any sticking points in that particular movement range. Okie dokie, let's put it together. All right, we can use the bar if you want to. And we're just going to go out and back. And we're going to notice, am I standing straighter? Because I'm noticing. See, I'm aware. So when you just make people aware of, hey, you're moving like this, let's try to move like this. Many times, that's all it takes for you to straighten up and for you to walk without wobbling and for you to think about how you're moving. You will take off years, okay, of how you look, of how you feel. Because when you're moving in concert with good mechanics, it can only help everything. Do things mess up our good mechanics? Yes, but we can work to manage that and work against that, okay? So bring your bar here, and let's just do one last test. I like to do this one a lot, okay? Put your bar right back, and you should be touching the back of your head between your shoulder blades and right down here at the coccyx, okay? Take a big deep breath and just walk. See, just walk and try to keep connected. Drop your chin. No fear opening your mouth. Marilyn comes to mind here. Sorry. See, I didn't say K. K's perfect. Okay, keep your chin down. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Try to maintain a normal walking pattern in neutral lineup. That's all I'm trying to show you. I showed you multiple functional test screens now today in this little workout, and I'm going to say, hey, test yourself, see how your mobility is, and it should help you move better, and that's my goal.